Hey, what's up with the boy YouTube? Video, check it out, man. Today we're gonna be going over Slay World Souljas, the collective, the infamous rap collective of few years, I guess. We're gonna be going over some of the members. Obviously, we're not gonna be going over every member because some members are more important than others, and that video would be like way too long to make. Basically, yeah, we're just gonna be going over the key members of Slay World, and we're not really gonna be discussing the history. Well, we will in a little bit, but we're just gonna be going over like current state. Obviously, Slay World is no longer a group. It was a very popular group around 2019, 2020-ish. And yeah, the group fell apart for a variety of reasons. Slay World, it was a group. It helped shape the underground for what it is today. You'll still kind of see some elements from the Slay World Souljas, Very infamous collective, very infamous group. In around 2019, 2020, you couldn't go on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, without hearing people mention Slay World. You would get comments like, yo, this dude still thinks Slay World is a thing. Back in the day, if you knew about Slay World, basically, I don't know, it was just something real cool to know about. It was kind of like the cool kids club. Everybody knew about Slay World. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people knew about Slay World, and it was kind of like this exclusive thing. It was really the coolest thing in music at the time. It was real low-key, real dope. Every member, almost every member at least, has made a career for themselves, and we're gonna go over them now. We're basically just gonna go over where are they now, kind of their lore and history, what's been going on with them since Slay World broke apart. And yeah, let's get into it, man. First member we're gonna be going over is, of course, Summers, one of my favorite members of Slay World. Everybody knows Summers, extremely talented artist, really talented, actually one of my favorites of all time. And yeah, what's going on with Summers present day? Basically, Summers, he made $1 million already. He signed a deal for $1 million. Summers always surrounded with controversy, getting into fights, beefs, etc. He got jumped by Homicide Gang recently, which was late last year, 2023. Yeah, that was crazy. Summers, in my eyes, he's always been a real respected artist, real talented guy, where the music really outshines all the drama and BS that he's going through. And out of all the Slay World members, scratch that. Out of everybody in the current underground scene, he might be the only one that is actually somewhat lyrical and is a storyteller and has history. Basically his songs, everything in the song has some truth to it. There's a story behind it. I've made videos breaking down his lyrics, and most of his lyrics and stuff, they all tell a story, some of his music, it could be hard-hitting gangster trap, whatever. He's not telling much of a story, but his plug-in B songs, his real sad songs, he's always telling a story. There's always there's characters in his song. There's people that we know about through his songs. He's made lyrics about his late grandma Brenda. He's made lyrics about Jace and many other people. The fans always have this big connection with Summers. Feels like we actually know this guy. A lot of people basically they've seen Summers grow up. He's been rapping since he was really young, and to where he is now. This dude is extremely successful. Obviously he's not mainstream, but he's made a name for himself on the internet, in the underground, whatever you like to say. This dude, truly talented. He's created his own subgenre basically. He's doing pretty good for himself. He was one of the bigger members of Slay World. I wouldn't say he was the biggest member in Slay World. We'll get into that later. I'm gonna tell you guys who I think was the biggest member at that time. But yeah, man, with Summers, one of my favorite artists of all time. I could just go on for days talking about him. Super talented dude. And like I said, where he is now, he is doing a great job. He's rich. He's done it. Next member on the list is Can. Very interesting story. A story most of us would have never saw coming to where he is now. Who could have predicted Can would be like this now? Basically, Can, he had the whole Ken Carson beef right after Slay World broke up, maybe even during the Slay World time. Yeah, he had a Ken Carson beef, which is cool and all. Honestly, look, in my opinion, I think Can wins the beef against Ken Carson simply because he is independent and isn't signed to a major artist like Ken Carson is. Ken Carson's kind of stuck in a cage. No pun intended. I don't know how to explain. He's kind of stuck. He's basically stuck. Ken Carson is basically stuck in Playboi Carti's shadow for now. Obviously, he could break out and, you know, make a name for himself and like make a name for himself as like an individual later on in his career. But Can, he's really in his own lane. He's independent. You know, he does everything himself. He's really the GOAT, man. He's really the GOAT. I think from like looking at it from like the outside perspective, obviously Ken Carson technically is a more established artist than Can. Looking at it from the outside in, like Can, he's really like, he owns everything he does. Like he could do whatever he wants, unlike Ken Carson. You know, Ken Carson, he's signed to a label, you know, certain things he can and cannot do, whatever, enough of that. Can made his own brand. He quit music completely. Like who would have thought? Like Can, he was like low energy and stuff, but he was truly talented. He could produce, he could rap. Like he had his own unique style and stuff. Like everybody likes Can. Obviously, except if you're like a diehard Ken Carson fan. But he made his own brand, his own sound, everything, you know. And like he just straight up quit music. It's been like a year and a half since he's posted official music. You know, there's a ton of leaks of him now. But he has a wildly successful clothing brand, you know, dropping a bunch of clothes, accessory, etc. And the stuff is actually quality. It looks like great quality clothes. You know, I've purchased some of it myself in the past. I actually purchased from the first drop. And yeah, Can, you know, he doesn't even need to drop music anymore. In my opinion, he's one of those respected underground artists. I could see him doing much more with the clothing stuff now than like the music. Just cause like, I don't know, like what rapper, what influencer doesn't want free clothes, you know, or does, you know? Another thing, Can also is a father now. That's right. The Slay World soldier himself, Can. Well, the ex-Slay World soldier himself, Can. He is a father. He has a wildly successful clothing brand. Like this dude, he's made it. Straight up, he's made it. Like he could literally just depend on his brand now to make money. Obviously, if he drops music, that'll help a lot too. But like he's lit. Like he's chilling right now. Next guy on the list, Audemars Wick, aka Autumn, aka Twin Uzis, aka I don't know what the hell. Autumn, you know, this dude was solely focused on making good music back in the day. He was the biggest artist out of Slay World, in my opinion, around that 2019-2020 period. Like he was ahead of Summers at one point. Autumn was like the next big thing. Super talented, but nowadays, you know, he's promoting these like 3 really shitty bad brands, like clothing brand stuff. Nothing close to what Can has. It doesn't seem like he's very motivated on the music side. His new music, in my opinion, is just not hitting the same as his old music. He had the most potential in Slay World. He was getting these huge cosigns and stuff by guys like Lil Tecca. You know, started a little mini beef in like the Slay World circle because Lil Tecca was only showing him love. But Autumn, for the music he made back in the day, he's still respected. Like this dude made some bangers back in the day. So that kind of is what's kind of like giving him a clean image, I guess, for like the OG fans, I guess. But like Autumn, like we know he's truly talented. Like he just gotta put in the work again. But you know, he signed to a deal. He has money and stuff. So basically, maybe he thinks he's made it already. But yeah, dude used to be super talented. He's not what he once was, but hey, he's successful. I'm gonna give him that. So W for Autumn. Next on the list, we got Isaiah TG, the demon himself, the Cleveland, Ohio demon, Cincinnati demon. Isaiah TG, of course, super talented artist. I wouldn't even call him a rapper. He's a singer, bruh. He's a real artist, man. Of course, Isaiah TG, known for his wild beefs, always in some sort of beef. He left Slay World. He himself decided to quit Slay World, I guess because he said the members of Slay World were being like fake. They'd act different online than they would in person, and he wasn't with that, I guess. That was his excuse. But I feel like he kind of left Slay World because he wanted to really branch out and do his own thing. He didn't want to be connected to them. And Slay World was always known as a group to have a bunch of allegations and stuff, which I do not want to get into. But let's talk about current day Isaiah TG. He signed some sort of deal. I believe it's a distribution deal. Take that with a grain of salt as well. You know, I'm not sure how true that is, but he is signed to some sort of deal. I don't know too much about like behind the scenes stuff, to be honest. You know, of course, solid drops from Isaiah TG. He's dropped a few albums since he left Slay World. He's not the most consistent, but when he drops banger projects. Like, this dude is super talented and gifted, and it looks like nowadays he's taking music more serious. He's doing like some interviews and stuff. The Isaiah TG from back then was not really doing interviews. There was like a interview he did, but it was only like he only had like one interview, and it wasn't even in person back in the day. It seems like he's really taking it seriously. And as far as the Instagram goes, you know, I don't even know if he has a page anymore. You know, he blocked me. He blocks everyone on Instagram. So I don't know what's going on with this whole Instagram situation with Isaiah TG, but it does look like he's taking it more seriously. He is wildly successful as well. You know, he has songs with over 1 million plays. A few years ago, none of his songs hit 1 million plays. Maybe he had a handful, but it was nothing crazy. But now, like, people see the talent, they hear the music, they know he's a talented artist. People love him. But Isaiah TG as well, wildly successful. I wouldn't say wildly successful, but he is very successful. Super talented, super underrated. Next Slay World member on the list we got is Goonie. Goonie, I'm a huge fan. Now this dude, Goonie, in my opinion, super underrated. Kind of always stayed out of drama. You know, he just did his own thing, you know. And he hasn't been dropping too much music as of late. And I'm a big Goonie fan, you know, I'll say I'm a big Goonie fan. I have a lot of his songs on my playlist and stuff. You know, Goonie, real respected dude. Reason being, you know, like I said, he stayed out of a lot of drama, kind of just did his own thing, you know, and is also a father as well. Him and Can, the two fathers of Slay World, man. I mean, I'm not saying they're the fathers of Slay World, but we got two fathers that are ex-Slay World members. You know, congrats to Goonie and Can on having, you know, kids. Really dope, you know, fatherhood, that's fire. You know, I can't even hate on that. I mean, who can't, you know, feel like they probably think it's time to mature and stuff. But like, that's another thing. Like, who would have thought the Slay World members, like, telling somebody in 2019, 2020, like, yo, Can and Goonie are going to be fathers in 2023, 2024. Like, nobody would believe that, you know? Next member on the list is Waylon. And question, would you guys consider Waylon a original Slay World member? Was he actually a Slay World member? Let me know in the comments below. Waylon, another wild story, you know? After he left Slay World, or like disassociated himself with the whole Plug and B scene, you know, he dropped the project, had a Chief Keef feature, which was really crazy, and he switched up his whole swag and he switched genres. That was absolutely insane, something nobody saw coming at all. Like, I feel like old Waylon and Vice's Waylon, which is current Waylon now, like, they're like two completely different people. Waylon, another one of those super respected artists. Like, you can't say a single bad thing about Waylon. This dude used to be like a trapper, scammer type of dude, but like, everybody loves Waylon though. You can't hate on Waylon. Like, everybody loves Waylon. And we want to see a Waylon comeback. You know, whether it's this new American pop Vices style, like, we want Waylon music. We love Waylon. Everybody loves Waylon. Everybody that knows about Waylon, whatever, we love Waylon. Like, we just want to see him drop. You know, I wish the best for Waylon, man. He's the GOAT, man. One of the underground GOATs, man. He was running the underground back in the day, around that Slay World era. He was going crazy, man. Shout out Waylon. Last member, which I wouldn't consider him a Slay World member, to be honest, but he is like a Slay World affiliate. You know, he was always around Slay World and stuff. Is, of course, sorry about that, Yeat. Yeat nowadays, larger than life character, larger than life persona. He passed everyone up in Slay World and in the underground. This dude is huge, figuratively and literally. Nah, I'm just playing. But if you guys think about it though, he was never like the main star of Slay World. He was never the main star of the underground. Like, he kind of passed everybody up by surprise. Like, he came out of nowhere. It kind of looks like, you know, he was always slept on and stuff. He just kind of came out of nowhere and blew the hell up. And this dude, Yee, I always said it, he was a breath of fresh air, not only for the underground, but for the entire rap genre. He had the craziest flows, craziest swag. He was funny as hell, always on Instagram lives, Instagram stories, whatever. A super funny dude. He was like that nonchalant, funny guy. Like, everything he said, for some reason, was just funny as hell. He invented his new language, new vocabulary and stuff. He had the swag, you know, the turban swag, scarves. Always wore a fitted cap, always wore like a balaclava mask and stuff. He invented his own swag, for reals. Another one of those guys that's just loved by everybody in the scene, loved by all the fans and stuff. You can't hate on Yee. And thing with Yee also, he did have beef with some of his former peers, guys like Nextel, September's Rich, and Audemars Wick, which was a member of Slay World with him. Well, technically he wasn't Slay World, but he was always around them. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this video about Slay World members and where they're at now. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up this video. I just want to cover the key Slay World members plus Yeet, and it's just crazy to see like how much of these artists have advanced since like I first heard about them, since the people first heard about them. Like, it's crazy. We really, in a way, see these artists grow up into like new individuals, when it comes to like sound, swag, etc. Like, it's actually insane how much these people have grown, how they've changed as humans and stuff. Like, hey, I'm real proud of them, for real. Hey, but for real though, that pretty much concludes this video. Slay World Soulja members, where are they now? And I think everybody I covered is doing pretty well for themselves, man. Shout out to them, congrats to them. They're probably like never gonna watch this video, but yeah, I ain't got nothing really bad to say about them, But yeah, hey, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, hit that notification bell button, whatever the hell that shit's called. Just click that, it'll let you know when I upload a new video. And subscribe. I don't know if I said that yet, but yeah, hey, follow me on Instagram as well, dill.cheese for underground rap memes. And yeah, I'm out. Peace.